Hey guys, Claude here. Unfortunately, I missed yesterday's video, so you know what that means. Let's open two decks. Alright, we're going to start right up with... drumroll. Dis, Untamed in Shadows. It's the Khan of Vinewater. And, ooh, can't do that. Let's see here. Alright, and drop that down. We are starting with Untamed. Way of the Wolf, upgrade. Amber Navy plate, this creature gains Skirmish. Niffle Queen, excellent. 6 power. Each other friendly beast creature gets +1 power. Each other friendly Niffle creature gets +1 power. There's our first Niffle Ape, 3 power. When he's attacking, ignore, taunt, and elusive. 2 Niffle Apes. Only 2 at the Queen, okay. Do Fairy, 2 power, he's elusive. Whenever he reaps, you gain an amber. Chota Hazri. Uh-oh, that's towards the end of the Untamed creatures, right? Lose 1. If you do, you may forge a key at current cost. Big Twig. Okay, like this guy. 7 power. Big Twig can only fight stunned creatures whenever you reap. Stun and exhaust a creature. Very nice. Vigor. 1 amber whenever you play it. Heal up to 3 damage from a creature. If you heal 3 damage, you get to gain an additional amber. Very cool. 2 amber card there. Stampede, 1 amber whenever you play it. If you use 3 or more creatures this turn, you get to steal 2 amber. Let's see, what was there? 5 creatures? Okay, we had 6 creatures. So we might be able to use this. It's still going to happen fairly rarely. I mean, a lot of times people are going to be able to deal with your Untamed creatures, so. Wow, we have Chota Hazri and Key Charge in here. Lose an amber. If you do, you may forge a key at current cost. I don't know. We're going to need some other actions to really make this thing pop. I don't think you're able to really take advantage of both of these. Grasping Vines. Amber Navy plate. Return up to 3 artifacts to their owner's hand. Temporary artifact control. Fog Bank. Amber Navy plate. Your opponent cannot use creatures to fight on the next turn. I like that card. Now we're on to Shadows. It's Urchin. 1 power. Elusive. Whenever you play him, you steal an amber. Smiling Ruth. Elusive. 1 power. Reap. If you forged a key this turn, take control of an enemy flank creature. That's a fun little card. Shadow Self, 9 power, deals no damage when fighting. Damage dealt to non-Spectre neighbors is dealt to Shadow Self instead. Moon Cursor, 1 power, skirmish poison. Whenever he fights, you steal an amber. This guy's pretty awesome. He doesn't work against a lot of Sanctum creatures, but being able to take out a creature every single time that doesn't have armor and stealing an amber is very cool. Carlo Phantom, 1 power, elusive skirmish. Each time you play an artifact, you steal an amber. So we had none in Untamed. I'm really bad when it comes to this guy and Valen Analyst because I never ever get many artifacts with these guys, but we'll see what happens. Bad Penny, 1 amber, destroyed, return Bad Penny to your hand. Speed Sigil, amber whenever you play it. The first creature played each turn, just play ready. Poison Wave, 1 amber whenever you play it, deal 2 damage to each creature. Once again, it's just 1 artifact. Pawn Sacrifice, 1 amber, sacrifice friendly creature. If you do, you deal 3 damage each to 2 creatures. Nerve Blast, steal 1 amber. If you do, you deal 2 damage to a creature. Imperial Trader, 1 amber whenever you play this. Look at your opponent's hand. You may choose and purge a Sanctum card in it. Ghostly Hand, 2 amber. If your opponent has exactly 1, you get to steal it. Is that our last? Yep, that was our last Shadows. And our first card in Dis is a rare. It's Collar of Subordination. You control this creature. It's an upgrade. So it's important to note that if you steal a creature that is outside of your houses, the only way you can use that creature, barring some effect on a card that you play, the only way you're going to be able to use that creature is to call that house, which means you only have access just that 1 creature that turn. So it's questionable, but if you steal the right creature, it can be worth it. The Terror, 5 power. When you play it, if your opponent has no amber, you gain 2. Ember Imp, 2 power. Your opponent cannot play more than 2 cards each turn. Drumble, 2 power, elusive. Whenever you play, if your opponent has 7 or more amber, capture all of it. That guy's pretty good. Dominator Bauble, it's an artifact. As an action, use a friendly creature. Poltergeist, so we only have 2 artifacts in here for that guy in Shadows. It's just silly. Poltergeist is a great card though. It's an amber whenever you play it. You use an artifact controlled by any player as if it was yours. Destroy that artifact. Pandemonium, 1 amber whenever you play it. Each undamaged creature captures 1 from its opponent. Mind Bar, 1 amber whenever you play it. Your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Keyhammer, oh boy. 1 amber whenever you play it. If your opponent forged a key on their previous turn, unforge it. Your opponent gains 6 amber. There's going to be so many times where you are just going to discard this card. It's pretty much dead. If you're going to be calling Dis and your opponent did not forge a key, get it out of your hand. Trust me. Hand of Dis, destroy a creature that is not on the flank. Gone, Goozle, Amber whenever you play it, deal 3 damage to a creature. If it's not destroyed, its owner discards a random card from their hand, and the last card is Arise. Choose a house, return each creature of that house from your discard pile to your hand, then you gain a chain. So, let's see here. I don't think there was that many creatures inside this. Drumble, Ember Imp, the Terror. Oh boy, so Arise is not going to be that good calling dis. Let's see if there was any other house that had quite a bit. I think look how tiny, look how puny these creatures are in Shadows. I mean, I guess that's going to be your best bet. Oh, not really. I guess your Arise is going to have to go for Untamed simply because you at least get the big twig, it's huge. Maybe you can forge the key on that turn, do fairies nice, and then at least the Niffle Queen is making the Niffle Apes bigger, so at least you're returning bigger creatures, so that's not too bad. Let's see here. The deck is pretty light on amazing cards. Got a lot of cards like this guy who, he's not going to be doing too much. Bad Penny in here is really bad. Yeah, it's light on creatures. The actions that have to go with all these are pretty rough. I love Poltergeist. It's a shame that this deck had a Poltergeist in it, a Dominator Bob, all the Collar of Subordination, these great cards that aren't being very well supported. So, yeah, this deck, it's not that great. I'm going to give it, let's just go with, it's about a D+. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of cards and you're going to think it's great, but you can't necessarily, there's not like card draw or anything, so even with the little bit of amber you get from the cards, it's not going to really be that good. There's just too many cards that you're going to have to discard, honestly. A lot of cards that won't even have an effect. I mean, Imperial Trader, you're just getting an amber. How many other cards can you play in this game where you're at least for sure going to get the amber and another effect? This is very specific. Your opponent has to have Sanctum, right? It's a great effect if your opponent has Sanctum, but you can't bank on that. So yeah, this deck overall, very situational, not that great. Let's hope this second deck gives us something good. Right? I think we deserved for opening 2 in one video. Alright, this deck, Sanctum, Logos and Brobnar, Quickfox, the Mercenary Firebrand. Okay, fun name, potential for some good houses here. I know a lot of people, they don't like Brobnar and Sanctum, but I've always been pretty open to them. I think that you just got to play these decks a little bit differently. Are they going to beat an Ambush deck? Not necessarily. You're going to have some very specific cards to do that, but they can, and there's a lot of decks they do beat. So we're going to start off with Sanctum, Shoulder Armor, upgrade, Amber whenever you play it. If this creature's on the flank, it gets +2 armor and +2 power. That is a great upgrade. Protect the Weak, it's an Amber whenever you play it, upgrade as well. This creature gets +1 armor and gains Taunt. So if we got creatures we want to protect, this is another great card. Gatekeeper, okay, I like this guy a lot. 5 power, 1 armor whenever you play him. If your opponent has 7 more amber, you capture all but 5 of it. This is a great body. It's preventing your opponent from forging a key. And, you know, it's just, he's harder to deal with because of the armor. It's very nice. Sequeeze, 4 power, 2 armor. Whenever he reaps, you capture an amber. Oh, and we have 2 of him, so that's what I'm saying. You got a little bit of capture already going on here. Okay, Raiding Knight, 4 power, 2 armor. Whenever you play it, you capture an amber. So far, Sanctum's starting off pretty strong. Grey Monk, 3 power. Each friendly creature gets +1 armor. Whenever you reap with him, you heal 2 damage from a creature. Very good. Champion Tabris, another great card. Wow, a lot of amber control right off the bat for Sanctum. Be nice if we get something like a Terms of Redress as well. Champion Tabris, so she's 6 power, 2 armor. Whenever she fights, you capture an amber. Take Hostages. Okay, and whenever you play it for the remainder of the turn, each time a friendly creature fights, it captures an amber. Great amber control. Oath of Poverty, uh-oh. Oh no. Oh gosh, so we for sure have no artifacts in Sanctum already. And we open an Oath of Poverty. Oh god, okay, let's tell you what this is. Amber, whenever you play it, destroy each of your artifacts. Gain 2 amber for each artifact destroyed this way. Oh, you know it's just going to be like a 1 or 2 artifact deck, right? And this card is just not going to be that great. Now, if you get a deck that has like 5 artifacts in it, and you probably want like 2 or 3 that are Sanctum so you can for sure be able to, in the same turn, you don't want to hold this for a long time. You want to be able to drop those artifacts down and then immediately get the amber. So that would be way better, but so this is already a little bit inherently weaker compared to most Oath of Poverties. Blinding Light. Can you imagine if we would open a second one there? It would have been, oh god, that would have been awful rare to get 2 of. Blinding Light, Amber, whenever you play it, choose a house. Stun each creature of that house. Great card. Wow, 2 Blinding Lights. That's pretty good. Spanned it over 2 turns. That's excellent. Now we're on to Logos. It's Titan Mechanic 6 power. When he's on the flank, each key costs -1. 2 Titan Mechanics. Research Smoko, 2 power, and he's destroyed. Archive the top card of your deck. Whoa, Mother! She's been coming up all the time here recently. 5 power, during your draw card step, refill your hand to 1 additional card. Dr. Escoterra, 4 power, play it, gain 1 amber for each forged key your opponent has. Doc Bookton, 5 power, reap, draw a card. Library of Babel, okay, first artifact in the deck. As an action, draw a card. And of course, it's just 1 artifact. I'm so bad. I'm so bad at getting artifacts whenever I really want them in a deck because of other cards. Scrambler Storm, 1 amber at every plate. Your opponent cannot play action cards on their turn. Fantastic card. Phase Shift, you may play a non-logos card this turn. Interdimensional Graft, 1 amber at every plate. If your opponent forges a key on the next turn, they must give you the remaining amber. Fogify, 1 amber at every plate. Your opponent cannot use creatures to fight on the next turn. Effervescent Principle, purchase the last card. Each player loses half their amber, rounding down loss, gain 1 chain. Okay, so it was the last logos card. A decent amount of amber control so far. I mean, it's nice to also have at least 1 card in logos that's going to take care of it. Our Sanctum was pretty hot at amber control, so I like the deck. It's not great, but it does have some good elements. Now we're on to Brobnar at Smash, 5 power. Whenever you play him, stun a creature. Looter Goblin, 2 power, he's elusive. Reap, for the remainder of the turn, gain 1 amber each time an enemy creature is destroyed. This guy can be really good depending on the rest of this Brobnar. He the Huge, 6 power, whenever you play him, deal 2 damage to each other undamaged creature. Nice against some Shadows decks. Oh gosh, come on. Alright, so, light on the Brobnar creatures, that is horrible. We did get our second artifact at least, it's Gauntlet of Command. Action, ready and fight with a friendly creature. And that is it. We only had 2 artifacts with our Oath of Poverty. This deck, it already is hurting. And check this out. It's War Song. For the remainder of the turn, you may gain 1 amber each time a friendly creature fights. We really only had 2 fighters in here. You're not going to be able to fight with Looter Goblin too often unless he's attacking an elusive creature just to get the amber. This is not good. Unguarded Camp, 1 amber whenever you play it. For each creature you have in excess of your opponent, a friendly creature captures 1 amber. Each creature cannot capture more than 1 amber this way, so this is also great amber control, but amber control alone is not enough to win games, really. Tremor, play, stun a creature and each of its neighbors. Punch, 1 amber whenever you play it, deal 3 damage to a creature, like direct damage in here. Hey, we have 2 of those, nice. Take that, Smarty Pants, amber whenever you play it, steal 2 amber if your opponent has 3 or more logos cards in play. Once again, a really situational card. It's nice to get the amber, but to only be good against a very specific house and being that situational, man, they need to have 3 logos cards in play to steal 2. That's rough. Loot the Bodies. Play. For the remainder of the turn, gain 1 amber each time an enemy creature is destroyed. That's nice. Normally. Not in here. Follow the Leader. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature may fight. Okay, so this does save it a little, but it's still not enough to make it great. So, at least with this card, we did have quite a bit of Sanctum creatures that are going to survive fights. They're really good. Being able to fight with them, having Loot the Bodies, as well as War Song is pretty good. But these are cards you're going to have to hold on to create that sort of combo. So even though these are really good together, the fact that you got to hold on to them just kind of hurts it. I mean, you can't just be... Sometimes it's nice to be able to be willy-nilly with these 2 cards and just know that you're going to get like maybe 2 amber a piece from them, 4 on just a Brobnar turn, because you had a decent amount of Brobnar creatures. It sucks when you got to hold on to them just to actually make it work with another house. I said, too situational to be that great. Punches are good. Tremor is excellent. More amber control, nice. But this is a problem. It really is. So this really hurts our Brobnar. It's taking the score down. Principle's nice. Fogify is good. We also had Scrambler Storm. Very awesome. Interdimensional Graft, not that hot. Phase Shift is okay. Library of Babel, yeah. Doc Bookton, Mother. I mean, Logos was at least okay. Sadly, though, I think these Titan Mechanics, our opponent's going to be able to use them way more than we can. So that's kind of another knockdown as well. Logos was okay overall. And our best house in here was Sanctum. Well, except for that card, we're going to toss that one. So you got 2 Blinding Lights, fantastic. Take hostages, though that is great. Look at these creatures. So we had 6 Sanctum creatures, all good, great armor, can create additional armor, great amber control on these guys, and we even have Protect the Weak and Shoulder Armor to make them a little bit more resilient and protect creatures. So the Sanctum is by far the best house in this deck, but sadly it's not enough on its own. It's just this Sanctum is not going to win games, and as I said, the other houses are just really lacking. So you know what? I'm unfortunately going to have to give this deck like a D, okay? Our other one was a D+. This one is a D. I mean, they're pretty close to one another. I could basically both say they're both D+, and I think I'd be okay with that. So, alright guys, I do want to thank you for watching my videos. I think we have some more fodder that we need to send over to Goodwill. I think Goodwill is going to appreciate these decks way more than... I think a new player will like these. This is not something that will be played at tournaments, and it won't be played too long even at your locals, because even the gimmicks that are in there are just not that good. It's still fun. It's always fun to explore a deck, for sure, but these just aren't it. And just a reminder, this weekend is going to be Vault Tour Denver. So if you want to hear about my progress and what's going on while I'm out there, you can always follow me on Twitter at JohnC_Keyforge. Alright, I'll see you next time.